Pokemon's newest set, Temporal Forces, has just been released. This set is heavily based on the new future and ancient mechanics, as well as the return of A-Spec trainers. So in this video, let's dive in and take a look at some of the amazing cards in Temporal Forces. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at Temporal Forces, the newest set. There are some awesome cards and amazing artworks out there, so let's dive in and take a look at some of my favorites and the top 10 cards. But first, I'm doing a giveaway. If you haven't entered yet, go check out this video. I'm giving away one 151 booster bundle to a lucky subscriber here on the channel. The winner will be chosen on March 29th, so enter while you have the chance. Alright, without any further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, Temporal Forces. Now a lot of people are saying this set might be the next Battle Styles. I can kind of see the similarities. Battle Styles introduced alternate arts, which was awesome for collectability, but it also introduced rapid strike and single strike battle mechanics. So that set was very focused on playability. Seems kind of the same here with Temporal Forces. It's very heavily based on the future and ancient traits. In fact, all the SIR cards are either trainers or ancient and future Pokemon. You've got the future Pokemon like Iron Crown, Iron Leaves, and Iron Boulder. And you also have the ancient Pokemon with Raging Bolt, Walking Wake, and Gouging Fire. These are pretty awesome artworks. I'm glad they didn't do any SIRs of the Terra types, even though there aren't really too many in this set. You've also got SIRs of Morty's Conviction, Bianca's Devotion, Aerie, and Salvatore. I think a lot of people are focused on the Morty's card just because of the Gengar in the foreground. And to be honest, I'm surprised they didn't do a Gengar illustration rare while they had the chance. But they did do a Ghastly in this set, and I think it's going to kind of follow suit with the Magikarp. It seems to be taken off. It's in the top 10 right now and steadily climbing. I know the set's only been out for a few days, but I think it's going to get there and be one of the heavy hitters. So with all that being said, let's go into some of my personal favorites from this set. You know, I haven't really been a big fan of the future Pokemon so far. The ancient ones are just cooler to me. Back in Paradox Rift, I really liked the Roaring Moon. Still haven't pulled the SIR card, but to be fair, I haven't really opened too much of it. In this set, however, I'm not a big fan of the SIRs. I love Walking Wake as a Pokemon. I like Gouging Fire. Not too big into Raging Bolt, but the artwork is alright. In my personal opinion, I prefer the futures in this set. You know, Iron Leaves is amazing. I really like this like sci-fi mountain background going on. I also like the Iron Crown. I think this is everyone's fan favorite. It seems to be the chase. It's also a very playable card, so I think it's going to kind of maintain a higher value than the rest of them. Morty's Conviction as well. Pretty cool card. You know, I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's not my number one, but if I were to pull any of the trainers, this would be the one I would like. You know, there's also some really cool illustration rares in the Ghastly, the Arbok, and the Reuniclus. Reuniclus, you know, I don't think it's a super cool Pokemon, but the artwork is really nice. I think it'll look amazing in person. Arbok is just, you know, it's Arbok, one of the classic Pokemon, and Ghastly, it's just a really cool card. It's got like a very nice color scheme going on. And right now, you know, it's sitting at 18 bucks, so it's steadily climbing, which is nice. I think it's going to be one of the more expensive ones, similar to the Magikarp, like I said previously. And then some of the smaller cards, you know, I like gold cards. I think I'm one of the few that kind of collect gold cards. You know, I'm not going out of my way to get them all, but I do really like these ancient gold cards. You know, I have the Ancient Roar right here, and the pattern with the gold and the kind of like sandstorm background thing looks really nice. Way better than some of the other ones like the Terra types or just the regulars. I don't have any of the futures in a gold card yet, but I'm sure those compare. So I'm going to be trying to collect, you know, Walking Wake, Gouging Fire, and Raging Bolt all in the gold version. I also really like a few of the full arts. Personally, I prefer full arts. I like to collect those. The Gengar is awesome. I do think it could be a little bit better. I think if the background was like a dulled purple or like a grayish color, it would hit a little harder. I do like the whole like lava lamp kind of like pink and red camo going on, but it's a little bit distracting. The one that I think kills it, to be honest, is the Scizor. The background really matches the outline of the Pokemon pretty well, and the fact that Scizor is red and it's on like kind of a bluish steel colored background really makes it pop. So those are my personal favorites. You know, I don't think I'm going to be cracking open a lot of this set. I know they say it's short printed, but I think it's going to be pretty easy to get some of these cards, especially, you know, like the full arts and stuff like that, the gold cards. Something like, you know, Iron Leaves or Morty's Conviction might be a little more difficult. Same with, you know, Iron Crown or Ghastly, but we'll see. I'll open a little bit. I've opened 16 packs and I've got 8 hits, surprisingly. So right now I'm at a 50% hit rate, which is pretty good. good, a lot better than 151. I thought it would be worse, but very small sample size still. I haven't opened a booster box yet, so we'll have to see as time goes on. And now we'll kind of quickly hop into the top 10. Sitting at number 10, we've got the Ghastly. Already mentioned it. This card's sitting at 25 bucks already. It's one of the only ones that has kind of gone up since release. I know we're only a few days out, but Ghastly's been pretty steady. I think it's going to keep climbing. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a $50 card within the month of release. And moving on, the ace specs, we didn't really talk about these yet, but the ace specs are in this set. For a collectability standpoint, I don't think anyone really cares about having, a nice page of these pink trainer cards. I've pulled one already, the Reboot Pod, and, it looks pretty cool. I like the hollow pattern. They're nice cards, but to be honest, they're here for the player, not the collector. This Prime Catcher, it's going to be a good hit, very good resale value because it's going to be kind of necessary in most winning decks. So right now it's sitting at about $30. I think it's going to be consistent, probably drop eventually, but every player is going to want at least one of these in their collection just so they can use it. So this card, if you pull it and you're not playing, I would sell it and then buy it back when it gets a little cheaper. Next up, you got Airy. As a character, not a big fan. As a card, nothing special to me. I think it could be better, could be worse. Doesn't really hit home for me. It's sitting at $29, steadily dropping. I think this is going to end up being like a $15 card. Next up is Bianca's Devotion. This card, I think as well could be better. I don't really get the art style. I feel like she could be doing something more. I feel like there's way more potential with this trainer rather than just sleeping on the couch. It's sitting at 37 bucks. I think it'll drop more. Bianca's kind of an iconic trainer, but this card's not that special. Like I said, could be doing a little bit better. Next up, Gouging Fire at $38. This is probably my favorite of the three ancient cards. I wouldn't say Entei is my favorite, but Gouging Fire is pretty cool. I like the big shield on his forehead. I think it holds the most similarity to the original. Walking Wake, it turns into kind of like a salamander, like raptor sort of dinosaur. Raging Bolt just goes into a giraffe. I feel like they kind of veered off a lot from the original Pokemon. Whereas Gouging Fire, you can still tell it's Entei, it's just head is quite a bit different with the big shield. I'd be pretty stoked to pull this. I think it's a pretty nice artwork. But those the future Pokemon, as we'll see going forward, are where it's at. Next up, Morty's Conviction. I think a lot of people were really going hard on this card. They wanted it so bad. I don't really get it. It's not Gengar. If it was Gengar, I think this card would be worth, upwards of $100. But right now it's sitting at 40. It's climbed a little bit. I don't know if this is going to be a playable card. I kind of doubt it. It seems like, the future in the ancient cards will be. But it's made a little bit of an uptick. I think as more of this product gets opened up, it'll drop. Like I said, the main focus isn't on Gengar, even though Gengar is in the artwork the main focus. It's not a Gengar card, so I don't really see it, holding huge value long term. Next up, Walking Wake. I don't think this is going to stay this high on the list. Right now it's at number 4. I think it's going to drop a lot more. It's at $37 right now. Steady decline. Pre-release it was going for almost $50, so it's dropped $13 in a week or two. I think it's just going to keep dropping. It's a nice artwork, not as good as Gouging Fire and not as good as those future Pokemon, so I could see it dipping $30 within like a week or two. Next up, Raging Bolt. This is one of the only ones that has seen a bit of an uptick. It seems as people are testing out the decks and playing online, Raging Bolt seems to kind of be a contender if you're ripping the ancient trait. So this one dropped to like $48, but has since kind of dipped up. Like I said before, it's only been a few days. You're going to have to wait like 3 to 6 months to see where the value lies. But right now it's ticking up pretty heavily. Like I said, $5 in the last couple days. I think it's going to go up some more. I don't know, like a lot of people kind of laughed at this when the Pokemon itself was released, the concept of Raging Bolt. But it seems like collectors of the TCG really like it. So we'll see. It's got a nice Jurassic Park vibe. The lightning storm in the background is pretty sweet. So we'll have to see as time goes on where the price sits. Next up, the final two, we've got Iron Leaves. I think this one is my favorite, honestly. I really like this background. It kind of reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z or something with the moon in the background and these crazy pointed mountains or rock formations going on. It's dropped quite a bit. I think this was number 1 on release, sitting at like $90. Dropped to $57, so it's right there with the Raging Bolt. But this is a really cool card. I don't really love the future Pokemon because it's just a robot version of the normal Pokemon. Not too many of these future Pokemon went too far with creativity, but it's still an amazing artwork. $57, not too bad. I think it'll stay steady, around $50 for quite a while. But next up, we got the Iron Crown. Iron Crown has somehow taken number 1. It was sitting way lower at $48, 2 weeks ago, but right now it's just been steadily going up. This is like one of the only ones, other than Ghastly, that has steadily rose over release. It's sitting at $65 right now. I think it seems to be a staple in like all the future decks. You know, if you're running a future box, you kind of need Iron Crown for that like bonus damage. So anyone who wants to, you know, bling out their deck, have max rarity, anything like that, are gonna be wanting, you know, a few of these. So in terms of collectability, it's a very collectible card. Playability, very playable card. I think this one's gonna stay number one probably for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised honestly if Ghastly kind of catches up and gives it a little bit of a battle, but I don't know if Ghastly is really gonna follow Magikarp and stay at the top, but it very well could. If it's a difficult card to pull, I think Ghastly is kind of a contender. If you know, buy a couple of these for less than 25 bucks right now, I think this card will jump to, you know, $35-$40 soon. We'll see. You know, Ghastly might pop off just like Magikarp did for whatever reason. Everyone loves Ghastly, the ghost types. It's probably the coolest ghost card we've got right now. So we'll have to see, you know. I'm surprised it's only number 10. It's gonna go up, but for now, Iron Crown holds number 1. The King of Temporal Forces release weekend. Alright guys, so that is the video for today. Just wanted to get a quick one out there going over this set. You know, I think it's pretty cool. I don't know how it's going to be in terms of sealed value. It's going to be a set that's opened up a lot because people are going to be wanting these cards to play the game. So long term, it might be better. I've also heard it's short printed. So in terms of holding sealed product like booster boxes, it might be smarter to pick some of this up rather than, you know, Paradox Rift or Obsidian Flames. But the long term sealed value is also going to depend on how the ancient and future Pokemon resonate with people. You know, like the big chase cards being Iron Leaves, you know, Iron Crown, Raging Bolt. These are new Pokemon. They're not iconic yet. So the long-term chase may not be there for a set like this, but we'll have to wait and see. If availability is way lower than like other Scarlet and Violet sets, it's probably one of the smartest ones to pay attention to. Just like Rebel Clash from Sword and Shield. You know, Rebel Clash was not a good set, but it wasn't printed heavily. So having Rebel Clash, just the fact that you have it gives it value because there isn't a lot of it out there. Alright guys, one more reminder, if you haven't entered my giveaway, check out that video. I'll leave a little card up there so you can head on over. Also, let me know in the comments below, what's your favorite card from Temporal Forces? You know, I'm probably going to have to stick with Iron Leaves. I think it's awesome. Ghastly is definitely up there in the top 5 as well for me though. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Peace.